is going on, guys? Welcome back to another Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle. So today we've got one last UU match with this team. I kind of just wanted to get one more use out of these bad boys, because it is pretty fun to use these guys. So this is going to be against Ernesto, and he's got a pretty scary team on his side. The first things I notice are going to be that he has a Mega Beedrill of his own, so that could cause me some problems. So I am definitely afraid of that. I also noticed the Hydreigon is going to cause me some problems as well. My special defense walls don't handle that thing too well, honestly, but not much does in UU. But other than that, then he's just got some stuff like the Beware, which is something you don't see too often. And overall, he's got a pretty solid team, so let's go ahead and just jump right into the battle. Alright, so I wasn't really too sure what I was going to see as a lead from him, so I just decided to go with Seismitoad. Seems like the safest option. He doesn't have any grass running around, so that's pretty nice. It turns out he actually goes with the Beware, so I don't really know what to expect in this thing. I'm going to go right for a Toxic because I know a lot of the time these things are going to be really bulky, so that's going to help me out there, be able to whittle it down, as it ends up going right for a Superpower. And I'm a physical defense wall with max investment, and that does a dickload of damage, so I figured this thing is going to be Choice Banded, which does make it a whole lot easier to play against this thing, now that I know it's going to be running some Choice Band. The unfortunate thing is, though, I don't really have a whole lot that can switch into this thing other than my Latias. Since he got that attack drop, I figure another superpower, I can probably take one with probably a little less than half, and then I can easily scare this thing out. So he does hit me with another superpower, does a solid chunk of damage, and now I can scare this thing out with a Psychic, which would easily knock this thing out, but I notice he's actually running 2 Dark types on his team, so I'm expecting one of those to come in to try to block a Psychic, as he is going to bring in the Mandibuzz. So Dark Boy over here is going to try to block a Psychic, but I predict the switch, and I just go right for a Draco Meteor, which is going to do a bunch of damage to that thing, and that's really nice because even with the special attack drop, I will be able to outspeed and kill with a Thunderbolt, so that's what I'm going to do. And down goes the Mandibuzz, which is really nice because honestly I do always have a lot of trouble against Mandibuzz for some reason. Those things are always just a pretty big threat, so easily able to take that thing out. Unfortunately, now he gets a free switch into whatever he wants, and he decides to bring in the old 3-headed tripod dragon, and I'm going to go right into my Seizure. So special defensive Porygon 2 is going to be able to handle this thing nicely, but if I end up losing Porygon 2, I don't have much for this thing because my only other specially defensive Mon is going to be Assault Vest Muck, who actually does still take a lot of damage from an Earth Power from that thing. So I take a Dark Pulse there very nicely, as now I'm able to go for a Thunder Wave, as he's going to bring in the Tentacruel. So I can't really hurt this thing too much with Thunderbolt, and I don't want Porygon 2 to take too much damage. So I'm going to switch right into Warts, hoping maybe I can catch him on a Scald turn or something like that. But either way, that is a good matchup for me, because I can just scare this thing out with Earthquake. As to my surprise, he actually ends up going for the Toxic Spikes. I'm pretty fine with that because I do actually have a couple of poison types on my team to be able to switch in and get rid of that, but he's now going to bring in the Hydreigon yet again, as I decide to set up my Stealth Rock on the predicted switch. I figure it's going to help out with, he has that Beedrill on his team, and just a lot of things it's going to be able to kind of limit his switches. So I don't really have much of a choice other than to just switch right back into my Porygon 2 here, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Unfortunately, I do have to take a poison. I wasn't able to get in any poison types to get rid of those yet, so I take a base poison, which is fine. That doesn't stack damage, and that's completely alright, as I'm able to eat up a Dark Pulse. But after the poison damage, I'm going to be sitting at about half health, as I didn't see an item from this thing earlier, so I figured it was probably going to be a Z Crystal. Not really much you can do against that, as it is going to be a devastating Drake, and that is going to be pretty damn overpowered, and Porygon 2 is not bulky enough for that. As I'm sitting at about half health, I don't have enough to be able to tank that. So down goes my Porygon 2, and that really sucks. So the Z Crystal kind of got me there. That was some good usage of the old Z there. But luckily, this is going to allow me to bring in whatever I want. I bring in Beedrill because A, I can get rid of those Toxic Spikes, and B, I can just hit anything hard with a nice little U-turn here. So he decides to go into the Tentacruel. Young Squidward comes in looking pissed off, as I'm going to bring out the old big guns. Honestly, Mega Beedrill is becoming one of my favorite Megas. Probably, if not my favorite Mega. It's honestly just super fun to use. Got a badass design, and I've always just really liked Beedrill. So I go for the U-turn there. It does a nice chunk of damage even to the Tentacruel, as now this allows me to go into Yang again, who I'm just going to go right for a Psychic. I figure he's probably not going to want to bring in that Hydreigon on the off chance that I just go for the Draco Meteor. So the Psychic does knock down his special defense wall, and Latias is just taking some names out here. So Now he's going to bring in his own Beedrill. The good news is he does take some Stealth Rock damage, and the good part about that is that if it comes down to it, if it's Beedrill on Beedrill, I will be able to knock his out before he's able to kill me with a drill run on mine, because after Stealth Rock damage, I believe it actually does one-hit KO. So he's going to finish off Latias with an X-Scissor there, which is kind of unfortunate, and kind of interesting. You actually don't really see X-Scissor too much on Mega Beedrills, but now I'm just going to bring in Face Paint. I know that I can take any attack this thing wants to throw at me, so Mammoth Swine is going to go ahead and scare that thing out. I don't want to go for an Earthquake on the chance that he switches into the Levitating Hydreigon, so I just go for the Icicle Crash, and he is kind of running out of options of stuff to switch into, so he decides to go into the Nidoking, who is going to bite the dust, gets absolutely destroyed by an Icicle Crash, so you hate to see a sacked off Nidoking, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So now he brings back in the Beware. I don't really want to take a superpower, and I know that I can't one-hit KO this thing with Mammoth Swine, so I'm just going to switch into Seismitoad, and he actually ends up going for an Ice Punch there. I'm thinking maybe he didn't want the physical attack drop or something like that, but Warts is able to live that easily, and now I can just fire off an Earthquake, which is going to whittle this thing down even more, and just make my life just a little bit easier against this cuddly-ass bear. So he has to Ice Punch again because he is Choice Banded. That is going to knock me out, but Seismitoad kind of did his job in getting the Stealth Rock up, and I was able to whittle that thing down enough to be able to bring in Beedrill to finish it off. So I just go right for the Poison Jab. No reason to U-turn, considering I am faster than the rest of his team, so I'm just going to have him bring in a matchup against me. So I finished that thing off with a Poison Jab, and now he has to bring in his own Beedrill and hope that he wins the Speed Tie. So after the Stealth Rock, he's sitting at about half. I actually end up winning the Speed Tie here, but I miss my Drill Run, which is like, what the fuck, Beedrill? Fork, what are you doing, buddy? So he does go for a Drill Run of his own. I win the second Speed Tie, which maybe tells me he was adamant, or maybe I just got lucky twice. He actually makes up for it, and I actually get a critical hit that time. So that's going to knock out his Beedrill, and now it comes down to just this here Hydreigon. So obviously I know that I am going to be faster. I'm just going to go for a Poison Jab because I know that in the back of my team I do still have Mammoth Swine, who's rocking that priority Ice Shard. So I just go for the Poison Jab just to whittle it down to the point where I know that Ice Shard will be able to do the job. He is going to kill me with a Draco there, which Beedrill goes down. Hate to see it, but the big fat Mammoth is going to come to the rescue, and Ice Shard is going to come in clutch. You know, a lot of the time when I'm building my Mammoth Swines, I don't like to put Ice Shard on there because I feel like sometimes it's a waste of a slot, but it does actually save my ass more often than not. So that's going to kill the old dragon, and that's also going to be the end of the match there. So that was a pretty fun one. I really do enjoy this team. I think I just really enjoy underused lately. But yeah, next time I'll come at you guys with a new team in a new tier, and we'll switch things up. But thank you for watching. Go ahead and hit that like button on this video if you enjoyed, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.